So this video is a little choppy and broken up because I have filmed segments of it like back in February and then today, mid-June. So come along for the Pride Skirt update video and let's have some fun here. Or at least talk about some stuff. Hello, how is everyone doing today? I'm doing pretty well. I've been working all week with my friend and helping her out, and so I've been working from like 11 to 1 or 11 to 2, so it's kind of right in the middle of my day. It's kind of interrupting things, but it's good because I've been getting up and I have been getting ready for work at 7 or 8 a.m. Hi, Henry. And I've had makeup on 3 days in a row. Really bizarre. And I have tomorrow and Saturday, because Saturday I'm helping a different friend at their business. So anyhow, that's not what this video is about. This video is about a new sewing project. So for the friend that I am helping out this week, I made a bunch of wrap aprons, I guess you would say, for her. And I think I've shown them in the past, but I will insert a picture of either the apron or she or I wearing the apron here. But part of the deal was that any leftover fabric was mine to keep, any scraps. And I tried to maximize, you know me, I tried to maximize the amount of the fabric as best I could when I cut them out to make them fit and not use as much fabric. But the one style, we wanted more coverage. So anyway, there was a lot more waste, if you will. So I have all this. This is just a little bit of this waste fat. It is beautiful, dyeable white cotton interlock from Dharma. And she and I have actually done a little dyeing on the aprons that I made her. And I also invested in, or to make them 100% cotton, serger thread, so that when we dyed them, the thread would dye as well as the fabric. And if we use polyester serger thread, it won't dye and it'll look weird. Anyhow, I have been wanting to make something out of this leftover fabric, and I've been playing with ideas in my head, but haven't had time to play in my sewing room. Well, yesterday morning, I did play in my sewing room, and I made this little skirt, and it is an 8-gourd flared elastic waist skirt, and I did it so that the serged seams, the overlock seams, are on the exterior. And let me take you over here, show you what it looks like. We'll take you where you can see the full length. Nope, I just don't have enough room in this room to back all the way up. But you can see it comes down to just below my knees. And it's going to be cute. I'm going to wear the daylights out of it this summer. I am going to dye this probably this weekend. But I wanted to make one that I'm going to garment dye the whole thing in one piece. One solidish, I don't think that's a word, but somewhat solid color. I am not going to kettle dye it, or vat dye it. I'm going to low immersion. I probably ice dye it because I want some like crazy color action happening, splitting and stuff. But this was kind of proof of concept from, hold on, this free pattern that I printed off the internet ages ago, like decade ago at least. Sense a theme. This is why I'm probably never going to get sponsored videos, but I'm like, because she buys shit and then she doesn't use it for a decade or gets stuff. Yeah. So, but it was from hotpatterns.com, and in my searching around, I don't think they exist anymore. Somewhere I think I read that perhaps it was a husband and wife team and he passed away a few years ago. I'm not sure. So anyhow, in this video, I will show you the basics of how to make this, okay? But anyway, this was proof of concept. I liked it. It's just below the knees. I'm going to move you back where I don't have to stand like Quasimodo to talk to you. There we go. So this was proof of concept that, I get the right kind of basically the right sizing, etc. But I want it longer. I like my skirts usually depending. Now, the dress I'm wearing today is actually shorter than that skirt, but I have my tall boots on and it's a winter dress and I have tights on. But for summer, again, a little TMI, I don't like to shave my legs regularly. And so if I can wear a little longer skirt in the summertime and kind of hide that action, cool. All right, so here's the basic pattern piece. It's a real bummer that they're no longer out there doing the work. Because they had some cute patterns. I remember I had a couple other of their patterns. But this is the basic pattern shape. It is just it's not a parallelogram. Rhomboid, I don't know. Me and math, come on people. But this is the math I'm going to tell you if you want to draft your own. And if I can find some other free resources online, I will put them in the comments, because there's another one I just downloaded that I'm going to have fun with, but I'm not going to be able to make these knit skirts out of it. So that'll be a future video. But anyhow, it's a flared triangle. I wanted 8 gores. So I was going to draft this myself, and then I had a memory that I had this pattern in my collection. So I was like, well, why start from point 0 when I can start here and then modify from here? And I am going to modify the next one. Well, first of all, I am going to add quite a few inches to it to make it the length I want. So I'm probably going to add 6 inches at least. Well, this is what I'm going to add. I'm going to add however length of the piece of fabrics that I have, max them out. That's how long it's going to be. So when I go to cut this out, the next ones, I'm just going to continue the flare. Now you could, if you wanted to draft your own, you could make them more flared and make it even fuller at the bottom. That's the beauty of farting around and figuring it out on your own. This one just that I made, I just turned over the top, made a casing for elastic, and put elastic in. Because this is a knit skirt, I want just something I can pull on. Easy peasy. Nothing, no zippers, no waistbands, no facings, no. And also, this one did not get pockets. Sorry for the wiggle. That was Fatboy Slim, better known as Henry, jumping off the cutting table and sending everything into earth shock. So, anyhow, here we go. Now, if you wanted to draft your own, because again, I can't link this one because it doesn't exist, maybe somewhere in the Wayback Machine, but I can't find it currently on the internets. Measure your hips, your widest point, wherever yours are. High hip, where your buttocks are, where your low hips are, however your body, your beautiful body is shaped. Mine tends to be thicker right through my belly, because I got more belly than I do butt. So that's where I find my widest setting. Like I'm a printer or some shit. Anyway, and make sure that where the hip line is, or where your white, that divided by 8, that is how wide your piece is at that point. And then consider your chosen seam allowances. And because I'm making this out of knit, I'm not really that particular about my seam allowances. Now, if I were trying to make this out of cotton, like a woven that doesn't have any give to it, but this particular knit is an interlock and it doesn't have a lot of side weight. It's not a 4-way stretch, so it still can't be too tight. Okay, and then I would taper up from there, but you just have to be sure that the waist is going to be able to pull over your hips, or over top if you pull it down from the top. So don't make the waist, if you're a very pear-shaped person, don't make the waist, like only a few inches bigger than your actual waist measurement. Make sure it'll go over your widest hip, buttock, belly. I was going to use another term that is not family friendly, so we will not say that. Measurement, okay? And then flare out from there. It can be a gentle flare like this and get just a nice A-line. It can be a more extreme flare and have more swoosh if that's what you want. Or you could add gores. Now, if you add gores, however many, that's what this is. Each section is called a gore. So I'm making an 8 gore skirt. I could make a 12 gore skirt, but I'd have to take my measurements and divide them by 12 or what have you, right? Or I could make it simpler, make a 4 gore skirt and make a gore that's twice as wide, and then it flares out. Okay? Skirts are easy. And then also what I did not do in my proof of concept is add any kind of pockets. But who can have a skirt without pockets? So I am going to, and I have so much of this fabric that I'm going to add some bag pockets to the side seams. And I will add those just like I would that I would add them in any outfit, dress, whatever, like they are in the side of this. I did not make this dress, but you know, just these kind of pockets. Gonna add those in. And I still think that the longer one I'm going to make with the exposed seams, the overlocked seams that show up on the outside. But what I'm going to do first, and so there's going to be costume changes because this is going to take me all week to film. I'm going to let you know that right now. Wow, that looks really wide. Actually, this proof of concept ended up being a lot bigger than I needed it to be, but that's okay. Anyhow, what was I saying? This is going to take a couple days because I want to dye the fabric for the next one. I am going to divide it into a couple different colors. And so when I dye this one, I'm going to take the fabric that I don't know why I'm pointing over there other than it's on the ironing board. I just ironed it all out. I was going to cut the pieces first, but I think I'm just going to roughly cut them into shape. Why did I spend time ironing them? I don't know. Because I'm going to dye the fabric first on those because I want them, each panel, a different color. So it'll be Roy G. Biv with a P at the end. It'll be violet and then pink, I think, between the red and the violet. It'll be hot pink or something. I'll get my my colors out and decide my rainbow. And I just think that it will be fun. A swooshy skirt in rainbow colors. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see how long this video takes me. It might take me 6 months to make. So anyway, I was working on this. I thought, well, let's start showing this before it's done for a change. Then another plan is I have this whole stack of this leftover fabric, and none of these pieces are bigger than that. So I'm going to make, again, I think a lot of this is going to go into different dye baths and be all kinds of different colors. I'm in the mood to dye, but make color. So I'm going to have some fun with these scraps, and because I want to see how I think this takes dye really well. From what I've seen AC dye her aprons that I've made her using just other kinds of dye. It took those dyes, so I think Procyon is going to take. Beautiful. So I'm going to make a bunch of different colors out of this. Then I'm going to patchwork them together and either make a tiered peasant skirt kind of thing or patch them together and then cut them into gores and make just a crazy patchwork skirts. We'll see. And after I've made triple proof of concept, I'm not going to have enough places to wear this many skirts, so they may end up on my online store. And you can get yourself a skirt when they go from this to skirt, if you want one. Oh, someone has just pulled up to my front step. So I'm going to go see who it is. I think it's my friend David. Toodles. Hello. You caught me ironing again. I know that I said in a recent video that
I really loved ironing my fresh fabric. And I do, because you go from this wrinkled up stuff out of the washer and dryer, or the line, if you line dry it, and it just brings it all back the way it's supposed to be. It's just very satisfying. Not that the ironing board's like my favorite place to be, or I want to be a professional laundress ironing clothes for people. No. But it does bring me some satisfaction to take a piece of yucky looking fabric and making it pretty. So what is today's fabric that I'm messing with? Well, I showed you these a couple days ago when they were still just scraps, leftover cut-offs from a different project. And then I took them and I dyed them. And so here we have, I'll show you all of them once I get them pressed here. This one, the color didn't take as well. I don't know. I must not have put as much dye in the batch. But my intention was to go for a rainbow. I have 8 panels. Now, I haven't cut these to the way they'll be the pattern shape yet. It just so happens they're kind of elongated wedges anyway, because that's what I cut off of the other pattern. So, but I'm going to make a flared 8-gore knit skirt, and it's going to be a full rainbow of mottled, dyed fabrics. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I will show you here in a second. I've got 3 more pieces after this one to press. I'll show you the other one that I made. I stitched the whole skirt together in the white, as a white piece with white cotton thread, and then I dyed the whole garment. It turned out really cool, but just patience. You got to let me finish my ironing here. And normally this is a knit. I wouldn't normally need to really press this, but I did. It was all wadded up when it was being dyed, of course. And then when I washed it after the dye process, I didn't throw it in the tumble dryer. I just hung it all up to dry in my kitchen. And so it didn't get all the little wrinkly bits tumbled out of it, like it would if I had just tumble dried it. Oh, that piece is gorgeous. Love the look of that piece. Now, some of these pieces, the technique I used to dye these was ice dyeing. And it's kind of my preferred way, unless I'm trying to get a solid color or trying to put particular colors in particular places. But I'm usually not that particular, as you know. So I like the surprise and the happy accident of ice dyeing. And when you ice dye, rather than, and I have some older videos on the technique. And if you want me to revisit them and come back and do them better, I will. But I don't find that they're something most of my viewers really want to get in the weeds about. But to get the really funky, crazy colors, kind of like you have here with some gray and blue and green, you need kind of the mixed dye colors that are, not primary colors. So you'll see here this blue, this is called Bluebird from Dharma. It's a pretty straight blue. It didn't break, as they say, into different colors. And a lot of the colors that I used in this project were a little bit more on the primary side. So I didn't get the crazy surprise colors like I sometimes get. Now, say that, but this purple does because of obviously purple's not a primary color, you're going to have your pinks, reds, and blues in there, and they're going to strike to the fabric, just each one a little different time and in a little bit different way. So that's how you get these crazy tie-dye effects with just one shade of dye. You know, quite often when I'm ice dyeing something that I'm not trying to get, you know, one piece all kind of one color, I'll mix and match dye powders in the batch, which you will see when I show you the other skirt here. But here we've gone through the entire rainbow. Press this pink one. And I think it's going to be a very fun project. I don't know where I'll wear my rainbow skirt, but I'm sure I will find someplace, some event. Maybe it'll be my Easter dress this year. I don't know. Okay, so there's our rainbow. We went from my red. I didn't get a real primary red, but that's okay. Red, yellow into orange, my yellow into green, into blue, teals, bright blue, the purple, and then pink. And then I just had other scraps that I dyed. I stuck in there with them just to take the dye. And I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to patchwork them together and do something. Sweatshirts. I don't know. I have some really simple t-shirt patterns, and I might be able to kind of cobble them together and kind of make a boxy t-shirt. I don't know. Stay tuned. Come back. Find out. But let me grab those other skirts. Okay, so here we are. Just like with the rainbows, I had the skirt, but I also had some scrap fabric that I put in the dye bucket, the pan as well. So this is that plain white skirt, started out, that I made last week. I'm showing you the kind of side first. This was like the bottom. It didn't get a lot of dye, but I used mushroom, moss green, palomino gold, and I might have, knowing me, I probably sprinkled a little purple in there too. Mushroom is one of my favorites for this technique because it does break into all these different colors. Now here's the other side. Thing is, the skirt is a circle. I can wear it I didn't put pockets on it in it, so I can, you know, I can have whatever panel be the front panel that I want. And I kind of like that. I don't know. But anyhow, now I made sure to sew this with 100% cotton thread so that when I dyed it, the thread would dye too and be multicolored like the fabric. So I think it turned out cute. Kind of got clashing patterns here today. Sorry for that. And then these are just all the scraps that were in with that, and you can see how they picked up completely different bunches of color, all in the same dye bucket. This one's really pretty. And they were just scrunched in there. They weren't tied or anything. This really shows how that mushroom, shiitake mushroom, that's what it is, breaks, and you never know what colors you're going to get. So again, I'm going to do something fun with these. I don't know what. And yeah, it's just fun to get back into the dye buckets again. So anyway, I'll show you the finished skirt when I get that one done. Thanks for being here.
So here we are in mid-June, and I said in the earlier clips about this skirt that it might take me 6 months to get this video out. Well, it hasn't been quite 6 months, but it's been 4 months since, 4 or 5 months since I made this skirt and filmed the beginning part. And I didn't purposely redo my hair the way I had it in that first video. It just so happens today is Wednesday, and we wear Wednesday braids on Wednesday. So anyhow, let's wrap this up. since it's taken me 4 months to make it. I think I either lost footage or didn't get it filmed or something of me actually cutting and preparing the fabrics for this skirt. So I've already gone through the shape of the pattern piece, that I added a little bit of length to it, and I'll give you a full body look here in a minute. And I sewed it together. Now it's on my body, so it's a little harder to show you, but I did get this really cool rainbow striped serger thread that I put in the upper looper. And then I put a hot pink that I happen to have in the lower looper. So I have this rainbow stitching holding it all together. Sorry about that close up of my face. That just adds to the rainbowness of it, which I like. I did not end up putting pockets in this because of the way I constructed it with the exposed seams. I've been thinking about it since, and I'm like, I still could have put bag pockets in, but then that would require me to decide which seams are the side seams. And some days I want this to be the front of the skirt. Some days I want this to be the front of the skirt. So, I mean, I guess it would, as long as I didn't turn it a quarter turn, the side seam pockets would still be on the side if I wore it backwards. But anyhow, here it is. And I've worn it actually to the Five and Dime a few times for lunch service and get some compliments on it. And of course it's June, so it's now Pride Month, so I have worn it a little bit more. I'm on my way to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription and to go to Walmart so if I end up on People of Walmart because I'm an overweight, not overweight, softly round-bodied middle-aged woman wearing pigtails and a rainbow skirt, then at least I'll be internet famous on People of Walmart, I guess. I don't know. So some behind-the-scenes situations that are going on here that I have been handling. Living in the South in the summertime with 3 indoor cats, one who occasionally goes outdoors, I have discovered that I have a slight flea infestation around here. I was a little slow putting out the granules that take care of the ants in my yard, and the ants have always been a huge issue. I never really considered the fact that when I treat the ant issue in my yard, that I'm also treating the flea issue in my yard, and I was late in getting that done this year. So I think that's kind of where they have come from. So I have spent every day vacuuming, steaming, laundering any piece of fabric. See, now I'm going to itch just because I have the thought of them, and they're not bad in this room. I haven't had them in this room because I haven't had the cats in this room. That's the other thing. The cats have been barricaded away, quarantined away from the bedrooms because I did discover lying in bed one night with Henry cuddling with me, a couple fleas on me, and I was like, okay, nope. No. Big nope on that one. So the mattress, of course the bed got stripped and the mattress got treated and everything got washed in hot water and dried in hot. And I can't flea bomb because I have indoor cats and I have no place to take them. So combing them every day with a flea comb, all the things, and we're getting ahead of it. We are really getting ahead of it. And, I maybe find like 3 or 4 a day now, where I was the first day, oh my God, I was grossed out. I was about ready to just light this 135-year-old house on fire and walk away. But probably not the first time this house has had fleas in it, and let's hope it's the last time. Let's hope we'll get it. So that's one thing I've been handling. And, truth and transparency, you didn't really need to know that, but I want you to know that life is not always perfect. And if you have advice that doesn't involve, like permethrin or other cat dangerous chemicals, and don't come at me with clove oil, peppermint oil, rosemary oil, and all your essential oil stuff. I have some natural flea and tick stuff. It hasn't touched them. The only time it has been effective is if I've seen one on my ankle or something and sprayed it directly on the flea, and it basically just suffocates them. But it does not get rid of them, and it doesn't, you know, keep them from jumping on me if I just spray myself with this stuff. And a lot of those essential oils are extremely dangerous for cats. So do your research. And yeah, that's not working. We needed something a little stronger than that. But what I am finding is flea combing and having a bowl of a little deli container, disposable deli container with soapy Dawn dish soap and warm water and a flea comb. And just a few minutes, multiple times a day, anytime one of my cats is hanging out, comb through them, dip the comb in the sudsy water. It kills the fleas immediately. And I've gone from finding over a dozen fleas in one session on Lilith to maybe one or two. So I think we're getting it. I have used the topical flea drops, and it seemed to have done nothing. I've literally run the flea comb through the area on the back of the neck where the chemicals were applied the day before, and gotten three fleas from their neck. So whatever these fleas are, these southern rubble fleas, they're immune to Frontline, Advantix, all those Nexstar, all those stuff. Henry wears a Seresto collar, which has always been worked for me in the past for both cats and dogs, and he has fewer fleas on him now than before I put it on him, but I will still occasionally find a flea on him. Usually on him it's down by his tail or his back legs or something, so they're like not wanting to be near the Seresto, but it's not keeping them from being Typhoid Mary and bringing them in the house. So I am finding just the manual labor of vacuuming, steaming, washing out the vacuum after every session of vacuuming outside, keeping it out, taking it outside and dumping it. I don't keep the vacuum outside because there's fleas outside, so I don't want, them to find a happy home there. But, and I have some flea traps, sticky lighted flea traps on their way. Probably tomorrow they'll arrive. And I'm sitting here and I swear I feel one on my ankle. Nope. Unless he hopped off before I looked. And I've been keeping them out of the bedrooms to just keep them out of this part of the house. And yeah, the other big news in my life is I finally got myself a new doctor, not a physical doctor, or well, she is a physical human being, but not a physical health doctor, general practitioner, but a mental health practitioner, and had a online appointment with her earlier this week. And probably will come to surprise to no one who knows me, but now I have been officially, instead of internet diagnosed, but officially diagnosed with very mild, manageable bipolar 2. And that might sound really scary to people because people think bipolar, they think schizophrenia, they think, these crazy manic phases where or deep depression phases. Have I had those in the past? Yes. I've never had psychotic breaks or anything like that, but the deep depression definitely has been an issue in years past. But because I now am so in tune with my daily life, with myself, I have very little outside people or things needing my attention and my care, no husband, no children. And other than the fleas, the cats are, feed them once a day and keep their litter boxes clean, and they're happy. I haven't had to put a lot of emotional and mental energy into other beings, other people. I've been able to really focus on myself and been able to really notice and keep track of the ups and the downs and what leads to them and what doesn't lead to them. And so I had started to notice some patterns, and I have some loved ones who've also gone through similar situations or more serious episodes and have also been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, and other mental health issues. So I knew what to look for and what to watch for. And after talking with her, I said, I don't know if this is what this is, but I need to figure. And also, I think one of the reasons that for me that it is so manageable, if you will, well, one is because of my lifestyle, that I can now just take a step back and manage the situation. Also, it's not, but one of the reasons it's not really cycling and really extreme most of the time, as long as I do my self care and keep track of things and notice when the shift is happening, that I've been coping with this for 50 years, probably, or, let's say 40. No, I feel like even before I was a teenager, I know I can look back and see signs of it. But anyhow, over time, especially women who don't get diagnosed, we learn to mask, cope, and, power through these situations and these, put our needs and things aside because we have others to care for. And so my coping mechanisms, my coping skills are extremely high. And so I can, people who've lived with me would probably be able to identify really quickly the signs and the symptoms of bipolar and go, oh yeah, that explains that behavior or that behavior or that incident. But those who just know me casually maybe not know unless they've had long rambling conversations or watched my YouTube videos where I go from one topic to the next without any segue, just pop, pop, pop. And on that note, I'm not scheduled yet, but I've been referred to another specialist, and I don't know when I'll get in to see them. They're up in Birmingham, so it's gonna be a day that I have to go up there for official evaluation for ADHD. And I think that would be the last, bit of spice on top of neurospicy diversity here that would explain a lot of other things as well. So that said, I have to go to the pharmacy and pick up my new prescription and see what it's going to do for me. And talking with my doctor, it's like I kind of don't have a problem with the up phase, the manic phase, for the most part, except when it wears me out. When I decide that I'm going to do 20 different things all before noon, and then then I crash. So a little modulation there. Do those 20 things over 5 days instead of in one day. But it's the low points that that I really I want a little bit of a lift, but I don't want to become flat and have nothing, which I've happened on other medications in the past. So fingers crossed. Again, just sharing the real with you. And if you have ADHD, bipolar fleas in your house, let me know how you handled it. Luckily, the flea infestation has occurred during a semi-manic phase, so I have had the energy, both the mental bandwidth and the physical energy, to handle it. If this had happened a couple months ago when I was in one of my low phases and sleeping until 10 a.m., actually that's probably when it started because I wasn't even noticing that my cats... Henry was the one that really tipped me off to the fact that we had a flea problem. I had never had them on me. I'd never seen them, but he was itching and chewing like crazy. And I was like, so I did a little closer investigation, and sure enough. So he's definitely the typhoid Mary that brought them to the house. And but ironically, there was a place that ADHD went from mental health back to fleas. It was Lilith had a particular place that she was sleeping all the time. She liked to hang out. And I noticed that I thought it was from my bouquet of zinnias and my Mother's Day bouquet that I had in the house. Now, it wasn't Mother's Day because that was after that. Had a big bouquet of flowers on my table, and I thought it was the little seed pollen things on the there, because she would like to hang out near the flowers. And then I wiped it up, and I was like, and I started doing, when I discovered the fleas, discovered more research, I'm like, it's flea dirt. It's not from my flowers, it's from my cat. Blech. So, obviously, every surface of this house has been sanitized, steamed, cleaned, washed, you name it. This house has never been cleaner since I moved in, and I did a lot of cleaning when I moved in. But anyhow, it's messy. I've been pulling things out from under the bed so that I could clean under the bed and make sure that there weren't any little critters hiding under there. So I have stacks of bins and bags and things around, and that's just what it is. Anyhow, I never saw her scratch, itch, chew once. Not once. She just sleeping and being Lilith and being beautiful. And so I ran the flea comb through her, and I was shocked. I tell you, shocked how many fleas. I think I got well over a dozen, maybe close to 2 dozen, the first 20-minute combing session on her. And I was like, oh, this is gross. But yesterday, before bed, we combed through, and I found one on her. And it might have just been a hitchhiker. And again, she's been dosed with her flea medicine. They don't care. They don't care. And, but if you're in a similar situation, do not be frugal and cheap like I was and get the cheapest flea medicine that you could get. Just go for the heavy hitters. Get the Frontline, get the Seresto collars. I'm not sponsored, but if Seresto or Frontline wants to send me some free cat flea stuff, or any other flea company, flea preventative company, let me know. I'll hit me up. I'll take it. But anyway, get the good stuff, and then get your light traps, vacuum again, and vacuum. And I'm finding the steam cleaner seems to be doing a pretty good job too. You got to go real slow with the steam because it's got to get time to hit the little buggers. And of course, they move pretty quick. But if it also will help with the larvae and the eggs. Ooh. So if those are in your carpet or between the cracks of your wood floors or wherever they might be, the steam will help get in there and kill them. Prior to my blocking this room off from the cats, this area was always one of their favorite places to sleep. But I have been at this one a number of times with all of the above. And I do have some flea spray that I got from Chewy or Amazon that I have sprayed in the rooms that the cats are not in, but I really resist spraying it when in the presence of the cats. That's just logic. I haven't tried diatomaceous earth or any of the carpet powders because I've read mixed things about their safety. Mainly it's the silica dust can get in lungs and cause issues. So I have resisted that, but yeah. So mental health and fleas is the real deal around here. All right. Well, thanks for being with me, and I'll talk to you another day. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being with me. I have quite a few new subscribers, which I am always thankful for. So if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this video and other videos to come. And my longtime returning watchers, I also appreciate you. So anyhow, thanks for being with me. But usually I wear my hair up when I wear my braids like this. But I don't think today. I think today they're just going to be whippy. Whip your hair around.